Still lots of ladybirds on the monkey puzzle. Everywhere I look on this tree, I can see ladybirds. Lots and lots of ladybirds. I think by the look of it, 4-spot ladybirds. Nice. And the clematis here is absolutely covered in buds. Tulips are now all out in flower. Still the odd narcissi and daffodil. Polyanthus. Primrose. Yeah, primrose. That should be a nice blue tulip when it flowers. And the insects are basking. The apple tree is just starting to come into bloom. Not a lot of bloom this year because it was pruned back. But I think there's going to be enough. And more ladybirds. Everywhere I look I can see ladybirds. Isn't that a delight? Great hyacinths. And the marsh marigolds are back in flower. Look at the brilliance of them. That's the domestic one. And they seeded and seeded back into the wild ones. But I don't mind. Yeah, everywhere I look. So that's nice. And more tulips. And very soon the Aquilegia will be out in flower. It's budding everywhere. More primroses. And there in some violas. They grow wild in the garden as well. Some of the strawberries which I planted out to be wild in the garden, like this one here, some of them are just beginning to put on flower. Let me see if I can show you one. There you go. If you can see that one that well, but that one there has been in the garden now about 4 years, and that's now putting out flowers. And the lilies are growing tall. The perennial poppy, beautiful big red flowers, that's grown massive this year. That's been in here now 5 years and I've never seen it this big. So all in all, it's looking pretty good. Ferns are coming back into leaf, some sooner than others, but they now are different varieties. Oh. There's more strawberries. These are the old ones I planted out, which I planted out at the beginning of this year, which were last year's and the year before's. So that just shows once you plant them out, you don't have to throw them away because they do come back. So we've got cowslip, parsnip, primroses. What am I talking about? Primroses. And here it's the first cowslip. Now you can see the difference. Primroses on single stalks coming from the stem, and cowslips are long stalk and then multi-flowered at the top. And the elephant's ears is still beautifully in flower, and of course if you watch my previous videos you'll definitely know what this is. This is one of the rosemary that's been in continuous flower since this time last year, and it's never stopped flowering. And even the one further over is in flower. That's still in flower. And even this rosemary here has now come into flower. Yeah, it's all coming on nicely. All the hyacinths have now finished, as you can see, but I'll let them develop their seed heads, which is here, and they'll drop their seeds and they'll multiply that way. I will buy some more in the autumn to go in. I want to get a lot more, and this primula here is still nicely in flower. I don't think there's going to be any more from this one, but this one is budding up again, so that one's going to carry on. This one might, when it's finished flowering, have a little rest, bud up again, but it's been flowering for quite some time. Here's the fennel that has been in the ground for several years now. When that gets taller, I'll harvest a few of these leaves like this, and even though I don't like aniseed, I like the sweetness of this fennel. It's a sweet aniseed taste. It's not too potent, not too strong. Just right. Well, the rhubarb is resprouting. I'll give it a feed in a moment. Give it that bit more feed to get it going again. The grapevine is sprouting. Let's have a look at the other one over here. Yeah, this one's starting to sprout now. As you can, let me see if I can show you. There you go. Get the canes out of the way. There you go. That's sprouting as well. Now, the vole has had some of these peas, but there's still quite a lot of peas along there. And what I'll do another sowing so that it can come along here somewhere. All beans are all okay. They're now coming into flower, so that's good. The radishes along the front here are up, and there's just the first sign of the perpetual spinach coming through here. Remember, I sowed perpetual spinach in between some cabbages and some Rabs 60-day broccoli. And of course it wouldn't be right if I didn't show you yet another ladybird on the blackbirds, on the blackcurrants this time. That's the Rabs 60-day Minette, and then down here there's some cabbages. These are greyhound. Now this black elder there is the parent plant, and this one here is a cutting which big lump of branch I cut off and thought I'll just stick it in the ground and see what happens. Well, hopefully that's going to form roots, and that'll give me a second one, plus the ones I've got over at the side of the garlic bed. Now these are the first earlies, and they're all showing up nicely. So on these first earlies I've got this straw around them, but what I'm going to do now is put some soil around them. Now these ones, which are the Blue Daniel, these are the second earlies. They are just beginning to show signs of coming through, but those I shan't earth up till they're actually through. And these ones, which will be in the pot there, are 2 slices of a shop bought potato. I'm going to put some soil around that one, the same as I've done on that one, so that and then what I'll do the next time I'll earth these hurdles up is put a bit of straw around them, and that'll be it then, no more. But by putting some of this earth around, which I got from the compost heap over there, the nitrogen, the phosphate, the potassium, all the good nutrients will go down, wash down around the roots and be fine. Also, it's making me soil, because all this straw underneath the soil is going to start rotting down faster. That's these 2 earthed up. Now I don't know, in these the two there and the 2 over there, I don't know what varieties they were, so I don't know whether they're determinate or indeterminate, but that's as much earthing up as they're going to get. With the determinates, which is all the new potatoes, they've now been topped up again. They've got a good half bag, so all I do now is put a couple of inches of straw or chopped straw, or the chopped rapeseed straw around them, just to help keep them tucked up nicely, and that'll be it for these. And I won't touch these anymore until they're ready for harvesting, and the same with these. Well, it's not a bad day today, but there's some blue sky, as you can see, around. But then there's also a lot of cloud thickening up over there, but let's enjoy what we've got while we can. I mean, I'm actually in my t-shirt today, so it's not bad, is it? You know, I have said it before, you know, about going back to how we used to do it, and I suppose I'm already doing it, because, you know, I sow things directly into the ground. I sow radishes, American cress, leeks, spring onions, beetroot, perpetual spinach. I just sow it straight into the ground, same as the carrots. And the same with the parsnips over here. As you can see, nothing wrong with them. They all come out nicely. Now with parsnips, and I find the same with carrots, to be honest, they do not like being moved. And I've never ever sown any of these in modules. I sow direct into the ground, and a lot of my sowing, nearly all my sowing, would be straight into the ground if it wasn't for the bank bowls which I've got in the garden. As you saw with the peas when I planted them, I did say, you know, it's the old adage, one for this and one for that, and one to, you know, reap and sow, one to, you know, grow. It's the old saying, which I can't off my head remember exactly how it goes, but yes, the birds and the bank voles have had a bit of a go at them, but there are some there, so I'm not too worried. I don't like mollycoddling plants, especially vegetables. They go in the ground. If they survive, they survive. If they don't, there's still plenty of time, then I'd plant some more. I'd sow some more seeds, but hey. Why do we put parsnips into seed tray modules and seed trays? Why do we do it with carrots? Why do we do it with radishes? I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for other people, so I don't know their circumstances about why they do it. I don't know how their crops are, but I've always sown as much as possible direct into the ground, and it works for me. It definitely works for me. Yeah, I've had no problems with it at all. The only thing I don't definitely grow in the ground sow is obviously brassicas. My grandfather used to sow brassicas into the ground, never any problem, but I think with mine there, which are semi-wild, but you'll find no actual weeds as such growing in them, then you might find the odd dandelion, but I'm not worried about dandelions. Dandelions look nice. Also, you can pick the leaves and mix the leaves of salad. It's not a lot different to the chicory leaf. That's the salad chicory leaf, which I've got some salad chicory leaf up there. So I'm quite happy to let nature live alongside. The birds are here. Look at the amount of ladybirds I've got this year. I can't ask for more, can I? So far, touch wood, no sign of black fly or green fly, no sign of white fly, and no, it's not too early in the year for them. I've got no trouble with ants in the back garden. When I do the front garden, I'll show you the ant hills I've got in the front garden. I've got red, I've got black, and I've got yellow meadow ants. Now those nests out the front, I leave. I mow around them. I don't do a lot of mowing in the front garden. I let it pretty much do what it wants to do. It's got a good biodiversity, so I'm quite happy with it. So yeah, why do we sow into modules? It makes a lot of work for ourselves. As I say, there are things like brassicas, obviously, things like the pumpkins, the courgettes, the cucumbers, the tomatoes, all that sort of thing we grow in modules. But apart from that, I tend to try and grow tomatoes. I'll be planting them soon in the ground, in the greenhouse. And we've only got about another month or so before our last frost date, so fingers crossed. And touch wood. Right, I'm going to get on and do some more gardening, otherwise I'm not going to get things done. Just thinned out the perpetual spinach. I'm not going to touch the beetroot for a bit because they're still coming through. The spring onions are spaced out as I wanted them. The radishes have now been spaced out, and the landcress, I'll sort that out when it gets bigger. The leeks, I'll wait till they're bigger and then I'll thin them out, and I'll transplant some of those to other parts of the garden. And the tray of cutting sprouting peas are ready for a cut. I've already thinned out the carrots there, and the spring onions are in little bunches, that's fine. The carrots in there, which are coming through nicely, a couple of those have got second leaves actually. Those I'll thin out most probably next week. And the parsnips, I've already thinned that one a lot out. That was the first sowing. The second sowing I'll thin out in about a week's time. And the radish, the beetroot here I put in is coming through nicely. Keep that on, stop the birds. And I'll take the glass off of this one, the beetroot, and I'll put the metal grid on now, and just put that on there to shield it from the birds. I need to get some more of these metal grids. Need to get quite a lot more. Oh, the little species daffodils down there are looking really nice. Oh, the first caterpillar of the year. Now, from what I can make out by looking on the internet, it says this is a scarlet tiger moth, and it's on a piece of the rose, the climbing rose, which is down there. So I'm going to put this on the wild bed. The anthuriums are looking good, and the ones over the other side of the garden, over here, are also coming on nicely. Strawberries are all looking really good. The Ionium is looking good. And the bluebells are out. And more ladybirds. I just have to chuckle because I've never seen so many ladybirds. The figs coming out nicely. And the bananas over in this corner did suffer damage. It took about 2 foot of leaf off the top of that one and that one, and the other two are dragging a bit, but they're beginning to unfurl. Let's see if I can just take that bit away like that. And the ones over there looking even better. They seem to be more protected. Cosmos is fine, and the nasturtiums are all budding up and coming through. So I should get a nice display here with a couple of spider plants here as well. So yeah, quite happy. Well, with this golden time, I've decided that it's just getting old. It's about 3 years old, never been touched. So what I'm going to do, as you can see, it's dying back in the middle. So I want to rejuvenate it. So I'm going to cut all of this growth from out the outside.